Hello guys, this is Rotze Od here, and this is the first video in my new channel. And for the first video I chose the subject of pivots. Why pivots? Because this is what I'm looking at the most when I'm trading and when I'm doing analysis. It is a very powerful tool, and somehow, I don't know why, most analysts don't pay attention to it nowadays, at least the analysts that you see in the internet. But in reality, institutional traders just love pivots, and pivots are very powerful. And in the moment you will see how powerful they are. I will demonstrate on the chart itself. And institutional traders, I think, are constituting a big part of the crypto market, especially when it comes to Bitcoin. You can see it on the price behavior the whole year. You can see it on the price behavior every day. Those traders are just waiting on the pivot lines to make their trade, and not for nothing, because it's working very well. So in a way, I'm sharing with you something that most analysts don't share, don't trade. But at the market itself, I can tell you with a high probability that the market is a pivot market. So what are pivots actually? I just want to show you guys. This is the definition in Investopedia. And pivots are calculated by this formula down here. So you will take the, let's say we are talking about the yearly pivot. This chart is the weekly chart, meaning every candle here is representing 1 week. This is Bitcoin Bitstamp weekly chart. So we will take, if we want the pivot point for let's say 2009, let's go in 2018. We will take the high of 2017 plus the low of 2017 plus the close and divide it by 3, and from there we will have our pivot point. In our case, this is the calculation. So the high was almost 20,000, the low, unbelievable, it was $751, and the closing was 880, and this is giving us a pivot at 11,432. And let me show you that this is exactly what happened. I will display the yearly pivots now, and this is the pivot for 2018. It's at 11,430 something. So the rules of trading pivots are very simple. When the price of an asset is trading above the pivot point, it indicates the day is bullish or positive. This is for daily pivots. When the price of an asset is trading below the pivot point, it indicates the day is bearish or negative. The same goes to the year pivot, to the yearly pivot. The same goes to the monthly pivot. The same goes to the weekly pivots. We will have a look at them very soon. But let's start from the yearly pivots, and I would like to remove them once again. Here we go, and look at this here. I've already plotted the interaction of price with the pivots on the yearly basis. And you can see that every arrow, the green ones, represent where we had a local bottom, and the red ones where we had a local tops. And when you plot the pivots on them, you see how powerful the pivots are. And these are that every line here represents a year. So when we are talking, for example, about 2018 and the pivots we calculated and the pivot that is displayed by the indicator itself, the pivot points is from the beginning of 18 till the end of 2018. So you can have a look here. We had this at the end of 2017, price went completely berserk and then went down beginning the bear market, corrected up, met the yearly pivot, bounced off it, and started its way down with a chop, getting narrow, and the last move, it went exactly to the S1. S stands for support, R stands for resistance. So when we use pivot, we plot 5 levels of support and 5 levels of resistance. And from there, price bounced at the end of this year. This was basically your trade from here till here. So if you are an extremely patient trader, and there's been a few, let me tell you, that use this was the trade, and it was a fantastic trade. You just had to wait, but it gave 71% of down movement and lots of money. So when price hit here the S1 at the beginning of this year, it bounced off it, tested a horizontal level, consolidated for a few weeks, and started slowly pushing, and then boom. And now price is doing its thing here with the yearly new pivot. So a lot of times that doesn't mean that we will see the perfect movement that we saw here and that we saw here. A lot of times price, like here, would break above the pivot point. Here it's the R5, will fail, will go down, and will test somewhere lower. Here it tested the R3, the yearly R3, perfectly. But a lot of times it's reaching out and then falling back. So the fact that here it reached out as well. We also have this, look at this weekly combination of candles. That's a doji followed by a red candle. There's a good chance to see some correction starting here. I don't know exactly where. We will talk about this on the next videos, but that's a typical movement. Could also be that price manages to break again above the yearly pivot, meaning tested a little below it and again moving on. But I'm not sure. I'm more inclined to the down movement, and the whole market is talking about a correction, so why not? But I want you again to, sorry about that. I want you again to see how beautiful they are working here, the beginning of the year. Look at what happened at the end of the year. Price reached out until exactly the R4 here from 2016 and was rejected all the way in 2 weeks to the pivot point, exactly the pivot point of 2017. That was the place to buy. And a year before that, again, look, price is moving, testing the pivot point. So we can see actually that from 2016 we are at the bull market, because look at 2015, price all the year long is moving below the pivot. That's by the rules is completely bearish. And here price is testing the pivot, starting to move up, testing the R2, falling below, back below, testing the R1, going up, testing the R4, new year, testing the new pivot, and the rest is history. And now we are here. So as you see, pivots are extremely powerful. Let me show you how they work, not only on a yearly basis. So if you want to see your pivots on a yearly basis, the yearly pivots, you will go to the weekly. If you want to see the monthly pivots, you will go to the daily. These are the daily pivots. Look what's happening currently here. That's yesterday and today. We have a bounce on the pivot. Will it hold? I'm biased to some more down, but who knows. So if you want to see the monthly pivots, they are on the daily time frames. If you want to see the weekly pivots, each line here represent a week. That's on the 4 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes. And if you want to see your daily pivots, what Investopedia was talking about, and this is what traders love, is on the 15 minutes and below. So we will in the next videos take a look at how you can trade pivots moving from the macro into the micro to take a beautiful trade on a pivot line, and we'll learn some more. But this video is crucial for you guys to understand, get a little bit knowledge about what pivots are and how they are traded and what are the rules, and because I'm going to use them a lot with conjunction with other tools and with other oscillators and indicators. So I encourage you to go and read and search on the internet a little bit more about pivots, but later on in the videos we will use them quite a lot. So I'm guessing we will see each other in the next video, which will be a more current analysis of price movement and price behavior at this point. Please subscribe and thumb up if you like this video, and I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you.